I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
at the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
Previously on Simple Success.
But, John?
yes,
What is it then, if it's not broke?
could be a bunch of things, but most likely well done is what it is.
For it is only through experience that wisdom truly grows.
So, you're saying that recording...
And now, just like with a previously on thing on TV, we take you directly to this week's episode.
Look, Mom, I'm a podcaster. That's what you need to say. You write a prompt, select the style, and we'll show you the way. You too can make a podcast. Come along and see.
So we're going to help people make their own podcasts?
That is exactly what we're going to do.
But there are millions of podcasts. New ones come out all the time.
Oh, what a wonder. No need to be a tech wizard. Just bring your passion.
That might be true, John, but that doesn't make them good ones.
You mean ones worth listening to, right?
That's exactly what I mean. The good ones are probably something like 1 in 1,000.
Good, yeah. And by good you mean with music and sound effects.
Yeah, just good production stuff like we've always done.
So let's get started.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but where do you start?
You too can make a podcast. Come along and see with the help and guidance. So set your
I mean, once the niche pastime of tech enthusiasts,
Podcasting has exploded into a cultural phenomenon.
I guess you're right, it has. Telling a story,
sharing expertise,
or just having a fun conversation.
podcasting offers a unique platform for expression. I mean, you've watched the medium grow.
And now you are ready to add your voice to the mix.
Yeah, but again, where do you start?
Will help you be amazing?
Like this.
We'll help you? Is that what you said?
Will help you be amazing?
That's what I thought you said. How will you help me be amazing? And how will this tie in to our normal finance stuff?
It'll tie in as we explain how we're starting our new life in a network.
And as we offer our best tools and experience.
Correct, my dear great-grandson of DT's great-grandfather.
Which will make us better.
I am a musician, and I want to write songs. I really don't know what I'm doing. I just want to
Can you believe the response we're getting to this idea?
Nice intro from the chorus there. Response to what? The idea of doing podcasts right with people?
Among other things, yes.
Yes, I can believe it. My opportunistic conclave of spatulas.
Not Shakespeare, but very creative.
Thank you, Kevin. Hey, I'll brush up on that a little bit more. But for now...
Yeah, for now. What are we going to give our listeners today?
Ruth? Hey, Ruth, you've gotten pretty good at this stuff. Take it, please.
Okay, today we talk about branding and cover art.
Why?
Because inquiring minds want to know.
And we do not mislead.
And, well, really all of us on the planet are at least a tiny bit into some brands, right? Yeah, okay, of course. But everybody know this. It is really important to establish a strong brand.
Sounds like establishing a goal to me, John.
And that would be because it is, DT.
Another thing we've talked about.
Yes, and we'll continue to talk about it because it's very important.
It also sounds a little bit like finding your voice.
Like you've done. And that's because it's also that, my dear friend.
Is there something we could point to right now that would serve as an example?
You bet, DT. How about a thumbnail?
A thumbnail?
Yep. Ready your mind for this. Think of the logo you see on nearly every podcast.
Yeah, and?
And you'll understand that the really good ones, at least to you...
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
The really good ones have a picture that just captures that experience.
Or the right colors.
Yeah, they do. Or they have the right colors or something.
Or even the right name.
Again, right as in right for that listener.
Correct, but it jumps out, and that's the point.
So when you get jumped in a good way like that, you're more likely to subscribe.
Yeah, well, at least give it a try.
Which is no small thing given how much time all that can take.
True that, DT. As you know, I listen to about 40 different podcast channels right now, not just my own two.
So that why?
So that I can get ideas about doing things, about things to try.
Oh, right, because that will affect your brand.
It could. I mean, your brand does encompass the visual elements, tone, and personality conveyed through your podcast.
Yeah?
But it's more than that. It's what listeners can expect from you and your content.
And that can set you apart, in a good way.
Yeah, it can. Or in a bad way, if you're not careful. That's all the more reason to spend your brain time that way, while we do the heavy lifting you also need.
So you can go it alone,
doing everything by yourself.
And, hallelujah, you too can swim in the digital ocean of podcast directories, like Apple Podcasts, begging everyone to notice you out there all by yourself.
Yeah, you could do that, or you could maybe team up with other people who like to succeed together.
And promote the group, with yourself getting some of the benefit.
Wait a second, are you talking about more than one person winning?
Why, yes. Yes, I am.
Oh, so you are into that frou-frou positive thinking stuff?
Growth mindset. That's not frou-frou.
If you say so, DT, or should I say Bruno?
You say what you want, or you can sing it with Suno.
So to say we've had fun?
Without break number 1, it's...
Descanso numero uno.
Break number 1? Descanso numero uno? Who's kidding who about that?
I don't know exactly.
I mean, that was the point at which we had become used to taking those, what are they called?
Descansos?
Yeah, the breaks, yeah.
In Spanish.
Yeah, so this would be...
Descanso numero uno.
Right, except now we're talking about what?
Break-like stuff.
Oh, you mean like what we used to say in break slots?
Which we designed to be easy to fit in and easy to replace.
Just like we're doing now, with stuff like this.
When you can't tell if it's a break or if the show's still continuing.
Why can't you tell?
Because there's a continuity to the whole thing.
A what?
A continuity.
Which is what?
Which is that most people...
You included sometimes.
Yeah, me included sometimes.
Can't tell that the meat of the episode has made a very smooth transition.
Thanks, Matthew. Transition into DT?
Into what is really marketing stuff, or maybe even a real ad.
Without sounding a single bit different.
And you know, a lot of advertisers just raise the volume.
Yeah, you can even measure it on some TVs.
Not to mention some podcasts where the engineering needs help.
Like most people's podcasts.
Yeah, not counting the 20 or 30,000 or so that are on our network.
You mean the one that started in 1998?
Yeah, in Ohio, that one.
Yeah, we've been doing this way before podcasts were even a thing.
Back when podcasts were made of wood and powered by steam.
We could just tell, you feel me?
Yeah.
So other people can fill this spot.
Indeed, whether it rhymes or not.
Either way, that's enough of this rot.
Yeah, let's be on to Act 2, where lessons are taught.
And we're telling people more about this opportunity, right?
Yeah, to be part of this network where they can get stuff done. Which makes having a beacon to your stuff, a compelling brand, an important way to attract podcast listeners who are probably scrolling through a sea of options.
And that beacon can be anywhere from your message to your colors to how you treat people.
That's correct, because as Maya Angelou famously said, they won't remember what you did, they won't remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. Don't ever forget that.
Okay, I won't, because that parlays quite nicely into cover art, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can.
Success.
Let's face it, your brand should resonate with your intended audience.
Yes, but not just that.
What else?
What else is that your brand also has to showcase the unique flavor of your podcast topics. This is a message that shines through in every audio file and blog post that you do.
Or have someone do for you.
Back to that team thing again.
So, how exactly does cover art play into this idea?
Great question, E.T. Hey, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a show where every week the logo gets edited just a little bit? Sometimes with a picture of that show's guest fit in there somewhere?
I have.
Okay, now, did you know that a lot of those shows have a person dedicated to creating and positioning that artwork?
No, in fact, I didn't even know it was artwork.
Yeah, it is. And you do know that it has to be managed by somebody in the know, right?
Yes, because it must grab attention. I once read that if you were starting a TED Talk, you should start it with something sensational to grab the audience, and then live up to those expectations that you set.
Good thinking, DT. And what's even more is that in addition to grabbing attention, if your brand and thus your podcast art is well done, it can invite new listeners as well as reinforcing your podcast brand.
Hey, John?
Yeah?
Should I be aware
of technical flaws that may bring me dearth?
Yeah, Matthew, like the size of the logo. It has to be at least 1400 by 1400 pixels and no larger than 3000 by 3000 pixels. And that's some detail best left to somebody who already knows how to do that.
Why is that?
That's for optimal display in podcast players. But don't take my word for it. That's what professionals do. Most distribution sites won't even take your stuff if that isn't met. And for that reason, it should be left to professionals who already have experience doing that.
Yeah, but that's a team, and teams want some sort of compensation, some what's in it for them. So why do our listeners need a team? I mean, that sounds kind of easy.
It's because none of us can really be objective about our own stuff. When we're too close to our baby, some people like to say this, we can't see if it's ugly or not.
Oh, so you're saying it takes a completely separated viewpoint.
Yeah, just like when you create your logo.
Or, you mean, when we create one for you, knowing what makes you unique.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, when we create one for you. And thank you, Sergio. So you can go it on your own if you want.
Just remember to, wait a minute. Should we do a list?
Okay, I'll start. Just remember to avoid cluttered designs. That's one.
And 2, use high-quality, relevant images.
And 3, choose legible fonts and select colors that are eye-catching and contrast well.
And...
Continues on back?
Yeah, that. Didn't you boomer types used to hire graphic designers to do stuff like that?
Yeah, we did, and marketers.
And other stuff. So who's putting people out of jobs? AI?
That's enough of the AI jokes.
No, just smart people, and no puns intended anyway, Trinoids.
That's good.
Oh, that's good and clever. So, is there anything else our listeners need to know right now, DT?
I think we've gotten most of it, but there is one more little bit about naming.
Naming with a friend?
Podcasting no end.
Naming without jokes.
And raising people's hopes.
We make sure you soar.
And be ready for a break we call, that thing we call...
Descanso numero dos.
We know a lot about you already, because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es buenísimo. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too.
Can I sample that?
Por supuesto. Of course. Just simple it.
Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and your tray tables are in their upright position.
And make sure simple is a verb like Google is a verb.
我们回来了. That's we are back.
Yes, ZU, we are back to spend a minute creating an engaging podcast title.
Ah, the clever and fun part, yay! You know, it was Einstein who said that creativity is intelligence having fun, wasn't it?
I had heard that, DT, but it's not all fun and games.
It's not?
No, well, on the surface, yes, but behind the scenes, it needs to be memorable, descriptive, and optimized for search engines.
And I'm guessing that it shouldn't be all that clever either.
No, clever's good, but there can be too much of it, so you have to be careful. If you turn a phrase like some podcasts do, that could be both memorable and cool. Just be careful that you don't rely on it too much.
Okay, it should just be all about the core subject of your show, right?
Sure, but still be fun. Like, I revolve all these simple success podcasts around doing and not just knowing, but doing it simply and having success at doing it.
And also, it should be easy to spell.
Well, that can help. Remember, just like with a book title, you want to encourage your listeners to jump in with you, to trust you as a guide in this journey the two of you are on.
Because you can still be open while testing your ideas.
Yes, you can take suggestions and do A/B testing at the same time.
Or you can have us do it for you if your growth metrics suggest it.
Yeah, and that's probably the right time. There's nearly unlimited ways to approach this.
You can foreshadow what the podcast will highlight next,
if you know it.
Or you could review what the podcast covered last week.
Kind of like we do with our previously ons.
Oh, you do learn. And behind the scenes, you can be testing things like the title's searchability and uniqueness, and if there are even more opportunities to branch out or partner on.
And that's stuff that you might think of on your own.
Or might not.
Or might not, right? But that's okay, because
we do it for you.
That's good.
So we know what to do, right?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we know what to do to make a podcast. I've got 380 episodes behind me.
All of it? So you have every second down?
Almost, but being open-minded, I still want to learn more.
But with the patience we often discuss,
and a healthy dose of perspective,
it'll be next year before you know it, and you'll have the success you deserve.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
No robots were harmed in the making of this podcast.